Hey guys, I wanted to record just a couple other tips and tools and things that you can use in your project that we've talked about in class. So just a quick reminder, some of the things that we've already talked about are things like image adjustments, which are awesome. We also talked about filters. One that I didn't specifically show you that might be helpful is the blur tool. So if you want maybe the background to be a little bit blurred, that might be one to play with. You can use blur and go to Gaussian blur is my favorite one to use. And you can actually see make it a little bit blurred, a little bit less blurred. So that might be something that's helpful to you. Another thing that I don't think I showed you on the other video, we talked about the eraser tool, but another really powerful tool is the Magic Cut tool. And that's kind of more of an automated tool. What you can do with that is green means I want it, red means I don't. So if I'm trying to keep my character but remove the background, do you see how I just did a little bit of motion and it picks up that I want the character and then I don't want this poster, for example. So I'm going to make a mark through that. I also don't want her and I don't want this. So it's not perfect, but sometimes it can be a little bit faster than the eraser. Oops, nope, don't want that. Let's see, make sure I get him back. A little bit faster than the eraser tool, or at least do a little bit more of the work with you, and then you could clean it up with the eraser tool. So if it works better with some images than others, but if that works for you, and you can also adjust the border so you can be a little bit more picky or a little bit less picky about what you pick up. But if you like that, you can hit OK. And if, nope, that didn't work for me, you can always X out of it. And I think we already talked about opacity, so the see-throughness of layers. Remember, you can move your layers. So if you click and drag a layer, you can move it, or if I need to eyeball off of it for a little bit to look at something else, I can do that. We talked about, I believe we talked about opacity and different overlay effects. So I don't know, playing around with some of these can give you a different look, which being kind of cool. So anyway, those are worth exploring. Another thing that we talked about in class was using texture layers. So there's some awesome filters in here, but sometimes you're wanting to give an overall look to a piece. You want everything, maybe it's a horror movie and you want everything to be broken glass, or you want everything to have a light flare or glitter or something like that, but it's not in the filters. So you can just look online for a texture and you can add it. So for example, I did a broken glass one. Not that that's really appropriate for what I'm making, but just to show you guys. And I can drag this over. I usually make my texture layers black and white, but this one already is. And then if you just adjust your opacity, obviously I would need to move my other picture as well, but it can kind of give a cool look over your existing photo merge. So like I said, glitter or shining lights, or even a grainy kind of grunge texture can be cool. Doing a texture overlay can really change the overall feel of something. So if you're thinking about the genre you're creating for, that might be worth thinking about. So anyway, when you are done with yours, guys, as you're working, saving it as a PSD is saving your layers so you can go back to it and all of that, so you don't lose all of this stuff here, okay? But when you're done with it, what you're going to want to do is export as, okay? What that's doing is it's saving it down and flattening it to an image layer. So if you only save it as an image layer, you won't be able to go back to all this. So I always recommend saving it as a PSD so you can go back and giving it a name, and also as a JPEG so that you can go back and see your flattened image, but also change it if you ever want to. So anyway, save it as a JPEG, and it usually crops only a part of it. Don't worry about that. That's not what it's going to look like. It's just showing you. I always make it the highest quality and then save. And now it's in my downloads, so I could add it to Seesaw. And again, guys, if you're having Open things I didn't want to. If you're having technical problems at all with your project, because again, like we're learning a new program and this one has a lot of tools and things, and sometimes, things go wrong and sometimes things happen. But anyway, if that's happening to you, please, 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 come in during that remote time. I'm absolutely, happy to help you. It's a little bit trickier to help you over Google Meets because I can't see your screen. But we could try, but I'm always here during that remote time and I'm happy to help. So we can problem solve it if you're struggling. So anyway, excited to see what you come up with, and I'll talk to you later.